Well, nothing like 40-degree weather and rain and a little bit of wind mixed in with it. That's pretty much what we've been doing with this whole week. You guys can't see out the door, but take my word for it. We got a nice little shower going. So the local John Deere dealer showed up and looked at the combine. Now, for those of you that have been watching the channel and have been hearing me complain about it long enough, that we have a problem with the contour master on the combine. So, what it is, this is the contour master. This piece right here that the head mounts to, it flexes left or right, you know, depending on the hill you're on, the slope. For being on the corn head, you don't need it, generally. We don't. You usually lock the head up and you're good. The contour master works best on the bean head. Seems how it's a 20-foot bean head. I mean, if it was a wider head yet, it would help you that much more. But the problem we had is that when you would drop the head, it'd be fine. But when you raise the head up, you'd get a slow pressure leak in the cylinder that controls this, and it would keep sending itself over to the right. I mean, no matter what we did, we tried a couple different things over the years, but nothing really ever fixed it. So finally we had the local dealer show up, which is why they have specific mechanics for specific machines. You know, you got your tractor, combine, lawnmower, skid steer guy. Well, the combine guy automatically went to this block right here. And first off, he went through, what did he just pulled the wire off, and that didn't fix anything. So it would still, even with the wire that controls it, shut off, so I couldn't control it.
Checking for an electrical fault.
Yeah, we were checking for an electrical fault. I couldn't control it with the switch in the cab, but yet the head was still tilting when I would raise it. So that eliminated that problem. I pulled these off. I wasn't watching everything he did. No, yeah, he pulled these out, and then what were they called? It was a weird name. He actually a poppet valve. Took both of these out. Wasn't sure if there was an O-ring on them, because it looks like they were supposed to be, but he had his computer with him and he looked it up. No O-ring, but we did see a little bit of I want to say scarring. Was it? Scuffed. It was scuffed. To the point where we did actually call up to see if we could get both of them, and we ordered them. But while he was still looking, he was deciding whether or not to go through and pull out the spool on the upper and the lower side, because you can do it on both ends because there's springs on each end. So he pulled out the upper side, and as you can tell, it's easier to take out the upper one than the lower one. Pulled that out, pulled the spring out, because there's a spring that sits right in here. Pulled the spool out, the spool looked fine, the spring looked fine. Wasn't sure if it was worth pulling out the spring down here, because as he loosened this up, this bolt and this plate, he wasn't sure if it was going to clear it. Luckily enough, he could take this bolt out without having to get carried away, you know, removing a whole bunch of hardware and the plate. Was able to get enough clearance pulling this out, and when he pulled this cap off, all of these fell out with it. Now this is the lower end, the spring on the lower side that helps push that spool ideally back up where it would be able to, you know, center, yeah, to neutral. It didn't break a little, it broke spectacularly. I mean, if it's gonna cause problems, I guess the spring did it right and busted into 5 separate pieces. $23 to get it fixed. A $23 part plus a service call. Really worth it. I mean, because now we can actually adjust the contour master and it should stay where we set it as we raise it, lower it, go across the field. Because we've tried running it without the contour master running, and on our contours with our bean head, just kind of makes it difficult. We did add the shutoffs last year because, you know, trying to figure out what the problem was. We thought it was a low pressure hydraulic leak, which did allow us to shut it off when running the corn head, but still when we're running the bean head it was a problem because, you know, we still did like to run it. It's nice with the Contour Master. It allows you to keep the bean head flat on the ground, and if you lock it, you know, center it and lock it so it's level. You get on some of our hills, you can leave inches of soybean stubble on the ground, and when soybeans grow clear down to the dirt, that adds up really quick. You can leave just a few inches of stubble, and that can add up to 10 bushels an acre very quick. So all we're waiting on was a compression spring. It was the technical term they gave it. For that to show up, pull this off, throw the spring in, tighten it back up, and try it. I mean, pretty straightforward to believe that that is our problem, but kind of anxious to see it work and not give us any more issues like that. So there's pluses and minuses, to pros and cons to actually having the dealer come down and solve your problems for you. That one I'd say is definitely it, as opposed to trying to figure it out for yourself when you don't have the diagrams in front of you, so you don't exactly know what some of these parts are actually supposed to look like when you can just look it up on the computer. So I figured you guys would want an update on that because I've mentioned it enough. But with that, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch. Thanks for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.